for me, like, when I ask a guy, like, what is he passionate about? Like, sometimes it's like going to the gym, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, like, anything else?
Yeah, I'm like, okay, well, you know what? I don't think that you're for me, but maybe I have a friend for you. You know? Like, you're so cute.
You can't make this shit up, man. You can't. You know, like, what's wrong with a dude being passionate about the gym? Like, it's just, this kind of woman does not want to see a man happy. That's it. It's crazy ass expectations in her head, man. But what does she like do for passion? What, makeup? Like, you're gonna do some makeup? Oh, I do makeup and I like to shop. Like, I don't understand this shit, man. I don't understand these stupid interviews. It makes you look so bad. There's so many videos on these interviews of women that just, they cannot stand to see a man happy. Like, what's wrong with that? I just don't get it. Like, what's wrong with a man being passionate about the gym or fishing or... It's a cold game you're playing, man. I hope to God that you guys do not fall in the trap. I hope you guys do not end up with a woman like this. Your life will be over. Your life's gonna be nothing but stress, headaches, bull, and drama, and I promise you, it's not something you want to be dealing with. Pick and choose wisely, man.
Avoiding American women will bring you far more happiness.
Latest content that's gone viral is that men are finding happiness through solitude. They're talking about how they have no one and they're happy because no one's dragging them down. And then they'll go into women. Of course, women are always the problem, right? And the juice isn't worth the squeeze, as men like to say now. And I don't have any kids and I don't have romantic partners because they're draining, right? But the thing is that when you're going through life, when it's just you all the time, how is that fulfilling? And when I just ask that question, because I'm curious, I get my head bitten off. Does that sound like happiness to you when I start to question? Just question. Not even your lifestyle in that aspect where I'm being negative. I'm just asking a question. Well, how do you find happiness by being alone all the time? Should I ask it with kids' gloves? Was that too harsh? Did I hurt your ego? Because you're not actually happy. Because here's the thing, and when you look at the facts of men, we are leading in some really bad statistics when it comes to depression, when it comes to suicide, when it comes to violence, homicide. When we talk about these shootings that happen, are those happy men that have purpose and meaning in their life? No, so they go out of their way, as men do, to explode on society. Because now I'm going to find meaning one way or another. And that's what they do. So don't lie to me. Enough of the bullshit. Stop being afraid of going after what you need, which is community, okay, which is belonging to a family. That could be a wife. Oh my God, women. That could be kids. That could be other men. And I'm talking about brotherhood and community. A lot of us, this whole lone wolf, and I won't call it that because I'm not cringe. I'm not saying lone wolf, but you are saying lone wolf. And here we go again. So all I'm asking for you guys is stop lying to yourselves, because the facts are the facts. We are not doing well as a group of people. We are self-destructing as a group of people. And if you pay attention and get off of social media and look at the articles that are being published of men studying other men because that's their job, you're going to be heartbroken just like me.
After you've been through enough chaos, solitude becomes peace.
In which I put out my theory that the majority, or at least most men that are single, are not as lonely as a lot of individuals out there would like us to believe. In fact, from the majority of the comments from men, most men have actually found it rather peaceful being single. And this seemed to upset some individuals, and by some I mean some women, some of whom left some very disparaging comments in regards to what they thought of me. But it doesn't matter what they think of me. What I want to know is, why would some women get upset that men are more happy single than they were in relationships? Because I think we all know that sometimes it's worse to be in a relationship with someone that doesn't appreciate you than to be single and be by yourself, where you don't have to worry about impressing anyone or worrying about what they're doing. So why would some be upset about what the guys were saying? Seems rather funny, doesn't it?
Okay, I am the problem.
Oh, good. Maybe this is a sign that some personal accountability is actually being taken.
I went on a date with this guy.
Okay, go on.
We're chasing peace, not a piece.
This idea of the male loneliness epidemic, I think needs to be looked at. Some of these guys are lonely, that's true, but part of the reason is that they're looking at their options and they're like, I can't do it. Like, this is not appealing to me anymore. So they're feeling lonely. There is a segment of guys that are feeling lonely because they don't want you anymore. Like, they're not drawn to you anymore. So they would love to be with a woman who acts like a woman, who's feminine, who's respectful, who's loyal, who's, not going to cheat, who's not going to, their phone's not going to be, shady as what, who's not going to be posting like all naked pictures online all the time looking for male attention while you got a boyfriend here that you got one foot out the door, who's not going to feel like, you can't ask her what she, hey, like, what do you want to bring to the relationship? How dare you? They're looking for like a quality woman and they don't see it. So a lot of those men, it's not all guys who are just trying to seal the deal and can't make it happen. Is that some of it? Sure. But there's also guys who could seal the deal and don't want to. They're just like, well, I'm going to spend a boatload of money. I'm going to spend a boatload of time. And like, what's in it for me? Really, at the end of the day, am I getting any of my boxes checked in this? So they're choosing to just be lonely, and just because they're like, where are all the good women? Where have they gone?
Being alone is still better than being stuck in misery. So everyone should be unhappy just because you are? Makes perfect sense, right?
No, males are not choosing, but
Oh, yes, they are.
I do find it hilarious how they are all like, yeah, we're done with women. That's why we're all single, because we chose to be done with women.
If someone tells you something often enough, maybe you should start believing them, because, a lot of men are just completely done with dating.
You guys didn't choose that. You know you didn't choose that.
Oh, but they did. What exactly is so hard to believe about that?
You know that right now women are becoming really picky and not choosing men that all they do is bring a paycheck.
Like I said before, there's a lot of women that are very upset that a lot of guys are actually choosing to be single because they want all of the power for themselves and to be able to dictate who they date. It is incomprehensible to some that guys actually can choose who to date.
Although there are still women out there who will accept that. And I suggest you go find them and leave us alone.
Oh, I don't think that'll be a problem at all. Because it's almost like personality types similar to some that we've just seen are almost the very reasons why a lot of guys are choosing to remain single.
Here's the thing, men genuinely don't think that women will be happy alone because they are not happy alone. Has anybody ever seen the statistics about how women who are single live longer than men who are single? And that's primarily because women are responsible for the majority of the emotional, mental, and sometimes physical labor in a relationship or a family dynamic. I've been having this ongoing conversation with one of my guy friends, and he knows that he is actively settling for the girl that he's dating. He said to me the other day, yeah, there's gonna come a time when you're gonna have to settle. I said, settle? For what? I don't need a man. Like, of course I want to have a relationship and a family and all those things, but at what cost? Like, we've all watched our mothers and our grandmothers slave away in these relationships for a man that doesn't really care about them or maybe was even settling. I would rather be alone. But men truly believe that women are unhappy if they're single because they refuse to acknowledge the fact that they are a main reason why we are miserable. Why we're miserable in relationships. Why do you think women are the ones who leave marriages? Because we're chronically unhappy with men who don't value us, who take us for granted, and who will admittedly and actively settle for us. No, thank you.
Men are choosing peace now too, and it's a beautiful thing.
There is no male loneliness epidemic. It is a loser epidemic. Men would rather be alone than to evolve and change, than to recognize, wait, maybe I had it wrong. Maybe there's something I need to change. If you can't get a woman because none of them want to be with you, maybe try and figure out why. Instead of making women the problem, saying that their standards are too high, maybe try and figure out why they don't want to be with you. What is it about you that maybe needs to change in order for a woman to want you? And they'll say, oh, there's no more good women left. Women are not like what they used to be. Women used to spend their days in the kitchen. generation, women only cared about taking care of the house and the kids. Oh yeah, and also women used to take our beatings. Women used to stay quiet. Women didn't complain. Women didn't think they could get better. Women didn't have confidence and self-worth and weren't able to speak up for themselves. And that suited you. That's the kind of person you wanted. If you love your mum's generation so much, cool, maybe marry one of her single friends. Women are not the problem. They have just woken up and realized they deserve better, that they don't actually need anything from these men, and they're only going to accept a man in their life if the man can make their life better. And if you cannot do that, you will not be chosen. If you can't level up and be the kind of man that women of this day and age want, you won't get to have a woman in this day and age. Your tricks are not working anymore. The internalized misogyny, the oppression, all of that is not working anymore. Women are waking up from it. Women are healing. Women are learning to love themselves and their own company. Women are learning to support and love each other and have communities and have friendships that are valuable and fulfilling. We now know that getting married and having children is a choice, that you don't have to do that, that is not what makes you successful or fulfilled in life. In fact, having kids when you haven't healed yourself and you don't know your own worth is actually the problem. It's why so many, if not all of us, have childhood traumas, have issues. What's happening right now is very normal. It's called evolution. It's happened many times before. When conditions change in the world, you either evolve to survive or you get left behind. This is evolution. Instead of complaining about it, evolve.
There's no crisis here, just consequences.
If you're a grown man, once you hit 21 and you pulling your phone out making videos, I do not trust you at that point, because I feel like, me personally, this could be a personal thing, but I feel like social media is for women. I'm sorry. And it's for men to look at.
Ooh, man, we can't do nothing. No, I was just playing, but in all seriousness, there are a lot of women who just genuinely don't like to see men happy or men speaking their mind. There are a lot of girlfriends, a lot of fiancés, a lot of wives who don't like to see their man happy unless they're the reason their man is happy. They don't want to see their man going out with drinks with the fellas. They don't want to see their man going to watch sports. They don't want to see their man going to play sports. They don't want to see their man playing a video game. They don't want to see their man watching anime. If she's not the reason you're happy, she don't feel like you should be happy, because that other thing that's making you happy is taken away from her. And not only that, we live in a time, in a generation where most women don't care how they man think or really care how they man feel. And they actually care about that man. So why in the hell would they want to hear a random man on social media talking about how he feels or what he thinks? Like me, they don't give a fuck. They don't want to hear that. They don't care about how they man feel. Why would they care about how I feel or what I think?
A person who's comfortable being alone is a dangerous person. If you disrespect them, they'll walk away. If you overstep their boundaries, they'll cut you off. If you try to manipulate or threaten to leave them, they will gladly hold the door open for you without a single fuck given. Because they don't need you in their life. They choose to let you be in it. And that right there makes them unfuckwithable.
Bruh, women can't stand when a man has a good time. Women can't stand when a man has fun. Women are the no fun police. You got to understand what I'm talking about. A lot of men think, oh, I'm gonna make some money. I want to go out and have a good time, and I gotta call a woman. That's low-level thinking. Some of them say, I made some money, I'm gonna call my boys. We're gonna go hang out, and that's cool. But there is nothing that threatens a woman more when this man can go out into society in the market, not on his cell phone, not on Tinder, not on Facebook dating, and he can just interact. He can strike up a conversation. He can draw in people. He can shake hands, kiss babies, mwah, 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 like he's campaigning to be a president. That pisses them off. Who were you with? Who were you talking to? Who are you banging? Because they don't got the skill like you got the skill, HTL, because you've been holding the line. Let's take a moment. Hold. You understand? When you hold the line, you enjoy your own company. When you hold the line, you walk in the room and the temperature switches. When you hold the line, you walk in the room and it's no longer about attention. It's about you provide tension. Because now people got to see, all right, how do they greet this man? All right, let me talk to you. Now they look and see, is he going to talk to me? Now they going to look and see is who will come up to him. Now they going to look and see is he meeting somebody here? And let me give you a cheat code of when you go out and you hold the line. You should always go out and hold the line and go to connect with people. You know what I'm saying? They say, what's the one thing they used to say? They say, increase your network to increase your net worth. So look, don't go out with the type of energy where you're being needy to say, I gotta get a number. You understand? Don't go out with the type of energy to say, I've got to meet a woman. You know, you gotta go out and say, I'm gonna meet people, I'm gonna meet groups, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna plant these seeds, because there's only a few of us that's outside. This game of life has a lot of people and they're spectators, but they only have a few players. So yes, it requires you to go out and socialize. Women realize this. Women know the power of knowing how to socialize, how much it can advance you. You got to go outside. Listen, if you hold the line, you got to go outside. I'm being for real. I'm being for real, because what's going to blow you up is not you at home. What's going to blow you up is when the streets love you. See, I say, if I had a record deal, I don't need to go to Capitol Records. Go to the top floor and talk to the A&R and try to audition and give a mixtape. If you really got talent, you go out in these streets and you talk to people and see what the people vibe with. You don't want 10% of people to like you. The 10% don't matter. You want to touch that 90. You want to be raw. You want to be real. You want to interact. You want to take the lumps. You want to bounce back. You want to be able to go out and socialize. You want to be able to go out and have fun by yourself. You should be able to go out and have fun with yourself and be able to be home by yourself, and don't look at it as a loss. That's so much fun. You got to have fun in this lifetime. The Joker said, why so serious? Everything can't be like, I gotta work, I gotta sleep, I gotta work, I gotta sleep. Go out and have some fun. And why you gotta say, well, the only way I can have some fun is if I can go get a date? Don't you realize if you go out, what you do is you make a
Their attitude toward us is filled with bitterness and disdain.
We told men to step back, sit down, and be quiet. And now we wonder where all the good men went. Newsflash, they did exactly what a whole lot of women and angry feminists asked them to do. We confused toxic masculinity with masculinity itself. And now good men are standing down, afraid to lead, simply because they prefer to keep their peace.
Men aren't scared. We've simply checked out.
So I know it doesn't look like it because I just got out of the gym, but I'm the psychologist that talks about attachment and relationship patterns on here. And I wanted to tell you that the easiest way to get a really sensitive person into like a very irrational, dysregulated rage is to invalidate their emotion, particularly their emotion about feeling lonely or misunderstood. Meaning dismiss it. Tell them it's not the big of a deal. Tell them if they get out more, they'll just make a friend and everything will be okay. So people born with really, really highly sensitive temperaments catastrophize and personalize everything. So they really need someone outside of them throughout their development to mirror back that they're okay inside and that the world isn't going to crumble, and that negative emotions and reactions doesn't mean that they're bad. It's just a part of being human. And if they don't get that, it's not just that they feel alone. It's that they fear that there's something wrong with them. So I'm talking about a highly sensitive person, male or female, that either through like over control or neglect or not attuning, not understanding, whatever, they end up feeling not only alone, but also defective. And that lends itself to disorganized attachment or fearful avoidant attachment. Or, and I was talking about several videos ago, the overlap between OCD and bipolar. If they have a little bit less sensitivity, they'll be more ritualistic and more OCD and less like a bipolar borderline-ish presentation. And then they'll be an externalizing avoidant attached person. But that is a video I've done before, not going into it right now. You know, these people, because of their high sensitivity with misattunement, they crave other people to understand them and get them. And they're very sensitive if other people don't. So these are the kids who, if their teacher doesn't understand them, or something simple, like their teacher gives them a lower grade or misjudges them and punishes them when they weren't the one talking or whatever, they are so dysregulated. It's not like, oh my gosh, that was annoying. And it's not like the PDA thing where they feel like their autonomy is taken away and they're being unfairly controlled and it was unjust. It's like they're hurt. They're deeply hurt that their teacher doesn't understand them. And these are the kids that the same thing, if they don't get into a party or whatever, it's deeply upsetting. And I would see these older kids and teenagers in therapy and I would be like, whoa, they're putting so much emphasis on like somebody that should be a peripheral character in their life, a teacher, right? To confirm something about them. And they don't have like a stable foundation of I'm okay inside, ideally formed in early childhood with a caregiver. And now I see adults in therapy who are navigating relationships and they go into interactions with their partner that seemingly on the surface aren't that big of a deal. Like, oh, it stresses me out when the dishes aren't done or something superficial like that. But they are so deeply dysregulated and their partner looks at them like, oh my gosh, what is the big deal? And then that makes them even more dysregulated because at the root of it, they're going through their whole life just trying to heal this wound of understand me. So instead of saying, well, that wasn't a big deal, or fixing it, like frantically doing the dishes, if you've got a partner with this kind of wound, I'm not telling you to be a doormat, bend over backwards, jump when you say jump, because sometimes if these highly sensitive, traumatized people aren't being understood for a prolonged period of time, they will replace the need to be understood with the need to be accommodated and they'll start to control. I'm not saying if you're the partner of this person, accommodate them. I'm saying just take a second to repeat what they said. Yeah, it really makes you stressed out when the dishes aren't done. And see if that takes the tension out of the room because they are hurt. And one of the developmental deprivations was they didn't get attunement well.
Single life in one sentence. No drama, no headaches, no nonsense. Financial freedom and the ability to do whatever we want, whenever we want. Step back and let women sort their own issues out. Women like this emotionally exhaust good men, turning love into therapy and connection into chaos. Their unresolved pain spills over onto partners, punishing genuine men who only wanted peace, stability, and a healthy relationship. Thanks for watching MGTOW Voice. Show us your love by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Support us and help spread awareness for men around the world. We welcome a healthy debate and discussion, so feel free to comment and share your thoughts.